Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hurricane in My Life. I am Marie, and I talk about all things that relate to what a hurricane is in my life. That can be anything from events to emotions to things that feel catastrophic, even though they really aren't, and just overall life experiences and things that I enjoy. So sit back, have a little coffee, a little water, most likely better for you, as we know. It's very important to get your 64 ounces in. So, like I said, get something to drink and sit back and relax and just listen to me talk to myself, really. Maybe have a guest or two sooner or later. Love you all. Blessings and peace always. So, many of you know, if you've been listening for a while, I talk about my bestie a lot, and I also talk about my kitty a lot. However, starting Monday, my best friend's going to leave for Colorado, and she will be gone until the 24th. But it's Mother's Day weekend, so I will actually be leaving to be with my mom tomorrow sometime. It's Friday the 12th of May, I believe, today. I think. I don't know. Days blend to me sometimes. But anyway, she will be leaving on the 15th, which is Monday. And she'll come back on the 24th, which I believe is a Wednesday. So she will be gone for almost 10 days, give or take. Yeah, give or take. And then that means I won't have my caregiver. She's a caregiver, she's not a provider. There's a huge difference because she is a friend or family member. Technically, she's a friend, but friends are family members that take care of loved ones, every need that they have, be it a personal care, shower, toileting, whatever, dressing, as well as home cares being more of the cleaning the house, whether it's the bedroom, living room, bathroom, kitchen, whatever, closets, any kind of thing like that that's needed. She is my lifter as well, because I cannot lift. They have really heavy things and move at the same time. It just doesn't work with my mobility issues. She also helps me with my shopping when I need her to, which is more times so than not, more often than not. And when she's not available, then I have what's called my natural supports, which happens to be one of my neighbors. My best friend's actually a neighbor of mine too, but my natural support is one of my other neighbors, and she will be stepping up in the absence of my best friend. She's actually really cool about it too. I've had to have her help me in the past when, actually, back in 2020, my best friend had to have 3 surgeries because of a condition that she lives with, unfortunately. And yeah, so she had stepped up quite a bit while my best friend was recovering from her surgeries and trying to get better to be the best her she can be. The one thing that I remember asking her about helping me with was really the one task that I find the most difficult, which is doing laundry. And the only reason I say that is I live in a place where my laundry room, like my washer and dryer, is not in the same building as my apartment complex, or my apartment in the apartment complex. It is in a totally separate building. And it is a lot of work to take a clothes basket, bring it to the other building, then load the washers and dryers or whatever, and things like that. So I usually need help with that. Another task that I can find extremely hard, I can do it, but I find it extremely hard, is doing dishes. If they've been stockpiling for a while, it'll take me forever. It really will. It will take me like 4 hours for real. It's ridiculous. Because I cannot stand for longer than maybe an hour, hour and a half. Hour and a half is really pushing it though. An hour and a half will definitely lead to severe back pain, hip pain, all sorts of pain. And then it can also lay me up for a really long time until my muscles and things like calm down from overexerting them. For those of you that don't know, I don't think I've mentioned it on my podcast before, but I'm mentioning it tonight. I have a condition, it's called spina bifida. With that, I have a legit hole in my spine. I am literally missing lumbar number 3 and 4, and due to x-rays of seeing a chiropractor for the past 2 years or so, give or take, having x-rays with that, we know for a fact that L5 actually has quite a bit of arthritis in it, or not quite a bit, but it's starting in L5. And with that, I get a lot of sciatic pain because the vertebrae that are missing, they are not like there to support that muscle like they would in a normal spine. Now, you can have closed spina bifida, and that affects people a little bit more differently. They don't, most of the people that I know of that have closed spina bifida, they don't have really any of the complications that I have had. In fact, the one person that I know of for sure, they've been able to have a family of their own. They actually have grandkids now. So, and almost all their grandkids are about my age, so, or a little bit older than me, and a couple of them are younger than me. But yeah, so it affects everybody differently. It realistically all depends the severity, and it all depends where it's located in the spine. So, these things are the things that make my life sometimes what feels like a living hell, but they also feel like, challenge too, as well. Let's see. What else can I say? A lot of my challenges come with anxiety, and then, there's been a lot going on in my life where I have depressive episodes too as well. Then, I just want to touch base on something that happened this past week. I was in around a conversation that was happening. Someone had brought up people wanting to be intentionally disabled and things of that nature. And I know that can open up a whole can of worms, and I'm really not wanting to deal with it. What I am wanting to say about it is I'm really thankful that I have the supports emotionally during that conversation that I have, because a friend happened to make eye contact with me and be like, I got you. Like, I could see that they were saying, like, I'll get this conversation to stop without, like, having to say it, me specifically say anything, which I was really grateful for. And I actually talked to the person afterwards, and I was like, did I read that right? Like, were we having, like, a moment between each other? And they're like, yeah, because the conversation was actually making them uncomfortable as well. So, because they knew they were uncomfortable, and then they could see all over my face that I was uncomfortable and terrified and things like that. They were like, I got you. So I was really happy with that person was able to watch my body language and understand how I was feeling in that moment, because I'm not the type of person to be like, I need help, I need this conversation to stop. It takes a lot for me to be like, I need you to stop. And it takes a lot out of me to be like, I need help. And so the next 10 days, starting on the 15th, will be challenging for me to see if I can, climb out of my shell that I have and actually use that phrase, I need help. So we'll see. I already have a couple of people on hand that I can go to if I need help. A couple of them already said they're not comfortable helping me with certain tasks, but they would help me with like heavier tasks. So like I have a neighbor that isn't comfortable with helping me like with my shower needs, and that's fine. But they are willing to, I just have to call them up and ask them, or when I see them, just ask them if I need my garbage to be taken out, for example. They'll help me do that. I happen to know like 2 other neighbors that anything I need, I just have to be like, I need help, and then be like, this is what I need help with. And they also have said anytime, even if my bestie's here, they will be here for me whenever. It's just a matter of asking for help. And I contacted the 988 number. And if you don't know what the 988 number is, I'll briefly kind of try to explain what it is. It is a number that if you are in some kind of a crisis and you just need someone to talk to, like, you could be like, I'm lonely, I'm feeling hopeless, I'm feeling really down. You could just be like, I'm in a crisis, and someone will answer. You can call even, but someone will answer, and you'll just have to answer like a couple of questions that they are required to ask you. Like, they're required at some point while talking to you, whether it's at they choose to do at the beginning or like the middle or whatever. At some point you're going to be asked if you're suicidal, and please be honest about that. Please be honest about that, because that's what they're there for. They're going to help you with resources. They're going to talk to you so you don't feel alone. You don't have to feel like a burden. You don't have to feel like a butt. Anything like that. So I've actually had to contact that number twice in the last week. Once because I was in a conversation, actually more than once this week, that made me very uncomfortable, and I didn't know how to address it. So I had contacted the number and kind of brainstormed with the person that answered my text message, kind of brainstormed how to talk to people that say things that can trigger me. But I don't know, like, I have to do some researching on, like, triggering and trauma and things like that, because to me, they kind of, like, for me personally, I know they jumble together a little bit, that I know for a fact my triggers stem from a trauma that I have been through. And that can be for a whole nother episode. This month is May, and May is mental health awareness, so there'll be a few more episodes. I've been meaning to do a bunch of episodes this month. I just haven't been able to mentally just hit that record button. I did finally pull out my mic back out, so hopefully the sounds better than previous episodes. Yeah, if you agree with that, please let me know. Please give me feedback. As long as it's in kindness, if it's genuine, I appreciate it. If it's coming from a place of harshness, then usually I have a problem with it. Like, for example, yesterday, I had a person that I had admitted something that I know I do that I shouldn't do, like when I'm talking to people. However, when my anxiety gets the best of me, or if, like, I don't feel heard, if I don't feel validated, if I don't feel like my contribution to a conversation is valued, I kind of get very discouraged and I get very frustrated. I get cut off a lot by different people that I love very much, and I love them regardless. There's a few of them that they know that they do it, and they try really hard to not do it because they know I can tend to get very offended, and I also tend to just stop talking then. So, and that's been a work in progress, not just on their end, but on my end, of being like, listen, I know you do that, and for some people, I know the reason that they do it, it's part of, like, how their brain works. Like, they'll have something to say, and they cannot, like, move forward without saying whatever it is they need to say. However, they know it's rude to do that, when someone's talking to them. So there's a handful of people that I know of. I love them dearly, no matter what. I really do. So if they end up listening to this episode, just know I love you regardless. I love everybody. Even if, like, people are mean to me, I love them. It's just part of my nature. I know that I won't receive that love back, but it's in my nature regardless to love and be kind and to be caring. So yeah, like yesterday, I just had someone that completely cut me off, and I was trying to answer their question, but I felt with my experience of that they were asking for, I felt it needed some context in order to be able for people to get why it was a positive thing that happened. And it was the incident that I mentioned just a little bit ago in this episode, of how I was able to get help from a friend without technically asking for it. Like, I didn't verbally have to ask for it. They could tell I was asking for it just with the look that I gave them, which was cool. It was awesome. That made me feel really good. Like I said, I had a conversation with them about it, and we're both good. There was, like, no hurt feelings in the group. Like, my frustration didn't get the best of me. And I had someone, when I told them all this yesterday, and then I was talking about a polite way with them to be like, to affirm when someone's like, oh, I've been through that too. I said something along the lines of being able to say, thank you. I appreciate, not being alone. I appreciate being validated or whatever. But can I finish what I was talking about? And they're like, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. But then they had to put on there, because I'm like, well, time out. So I was like, yeah, I know I have problems with shutting down and communication kind of falling apart when I get frustrated. And then they basically had the attitude with me of like, you think? And I was like, in my head, I went back in my head and I'm like, really? Was that like really freaking necessary? Really? Like, you couldn't pick any other words but that. Like, you don't want me to use words like that on you or somebody else, and that's the words you chose. Really? So, that's kind of in a nutshell what my hurricane's been like lately. However, Holy Spirit both times just was like, nope, Marie, don't engage. Just leave it be. Leave it be. I said, leave it be, girl. Okay. And I did. I'm really proud of myself because I did. I was able to stop and not let that bother me. I mean, it bothered me, but I didn't let it bother me to the point where, like, felt like I was going to start war, like a verbal war, a physical war with people. Because old Marie, that's what would happen. Old Marie would get mad and want to fight. New Marie will get hurt, shut down, talk to someone that feels safe, and that's key right there. But then I can move on. And all these experiences that I'm talking about, in my own way, I've been able to figure out ways to ask for help. But it's some of those small things that happen that remind me of why I would rather just keep quiet and not talk to others. As always, I love you all very much. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Thank you for listening to me babble. Thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Really, I mean it. For your support, whether it's my podcast. If you follow me on social media, hey, that's great. I love you for that. Thank you so much. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and never stop caring. And remember, you are loved and you're also lovable. Watch for the show notes for any links to be able to find me, and also some of the resources that I'm not mentioned in this episode. Thank you. Love you. Mwah. Love you. Bye. You can find me on Facebook at Sweet Thoughts by Marie. You can also find me on Instagram at Sweet Thoughts by Marie. If you follow me on both, you'll learn a little bit more about me, and you'll also learn about all things Sweet Thoughts by Marie, which is also the name of my blog through WordPress. I share right now facts about me and mental health, along with just different resources that you can use right now or anytime, really, not just the month of May. But please be on the lookout for that. Thank you. Bye-bye.